Hey everyone, Wideck here again. This time I've got a set of replays from the WCS Season 2 Europe Group Playoff Edition. And this time on Shir Vestige. We've got spawning in the bottom right as the blue Protoss. We have MC. And his opponent spawning in the top left as the red Zerg. We've got Stephano. Now, Stephano is generally regarded as one of the best non-Korean players. Just because MC is Korean, it doesn't necessarily mean that much. A lot of pro players think that Koreans are just a little bit ahead, but it's best not to think about whether or not your opponent is Korean or not. Both players are professional players, so anyone can win this game. So Stephano has been Korean players before. He's been non-Korean players before as well. So it doesn't really matter in this matchup so much. And Stephano really wants to try and do his best because this is his last tournament before he retires and goes to school. So MC is going to be opening up with a very standard gateway opening with the pylon very close to his Nexus, hugging the Nexus actually. And it looks like Stephano is going to be going for the hatchery at his natural. He says he loves MC. I don't know if that's kind of a bromance love or what kind of love that is. I like how MC hasn't said anything. Oh, I need you, I want you. Very nice from MC. So, right here, right now, while this game is getting extra, maybe too friendly, but it is interesting if nothing else. The spawning pool is going down for Stephano. We'll have to see how much that love is going to spill over near the end of this game, because it's really hard to love your opponent if he's beating you in the face ruthlessly. And now we do have 400 minerals, and MC is going to be putting down that Nexus at his natural. So he's going for a very kind of early Nexus. He doesn't have actually any units out of his gateway either. Now we do have the assimilator coming up, actually 2 assimilators coming up for MC. He doesn't detect any early aggression from Stephano from that scouting probe, and actually that probe is still in Stephano's base, keeping a tab on everything. Stephano's hatchery at his natural is almost finished, and MC's probe will be able to see the timing on that. And pop, there we go. The creep is spreading out, and we actually have a very quick third from Stephano. Before the 4-minute mark, he's already got the hatchery down at that third location. Now, MC's probe hasn't been able to spot this yet, so if MC is not able to spot this, he might be thinking Stephano is just playing a very strange 2-base build. So I think it's going to be vital for MC if he wants to get back into this game. If he wants to have the advantage, he's going to have to spot this third. And he is moving his probe into position. Probe is going to be able to find out about that third hatchery. There we go. The probe is able to confirm the hatchery is down. So now MC has a few choices. He can either go for a 2-base timing and try to force that third hatchery, blow it up so there is no economic advantage for Stephano, or MC can kind of go for, you know, early tech upgrades, going for Templar or maybe Colossus, or maybe go for a third Nexus himself. But as a Protoss player, it's very difficult to get a third Nexus and protect it. And generally, if you go for your third, if the Zerg player spots it, which they usually do, they'll just go for their fourth. So looks like MC is going to be moving across the map with a couple Zealots, going to that third hatchery. And that third hatchery is the most prone, obviously, because it is the farthest away from the natural and from the main as well. And all Stephano has currently is a few Zerglings. So the Zealots are going to be running in here. It looks like they will start chopping away down at this hatchery. The Mothership Core is reinforcing this position as well. The Queen is off the creep. So this is going to be vital for Stephano to spread that creep between the natural and the third. Otherwise, the Queens will have a very difficult time. Now, it looks like this Stalker from Stephano was about to get surrounded. But Stephano is not able to surround that Stalker, and that Stalker might be able to get away now. The Zealots have been pulled away from that hatchery, at least temporarily, but we have way too many Zerglings here. I don't think these Zealots are going to be able to do too much here. Both the Zealots are chopped up very quickly. And now MC only has 2 Stalkers here being scared away by a whole horde of Zerglings. And unfortunately for MC, that attack did not work out for him. The Mothership Core did take some damage as well, and Stephano is going to be able to hold that third base easily. So MC is going to be blocking off his entrance into his natural with a whole bunch of gateways. I think this is a wise and prudent decision, as now map control has been conceded over to Stephano. He does have Zergling speed almost finished as well. And we've also got those creep tumors going into hyperdrive, it looks like, and spreading outside of Stephano's boundaries. The Zerglings are darting across the map, and they'll be able to make contact with MC's natural very quickly here. We see Stephano getting +1 missile upgrade, so this is interesting. He does have Zerglings, but I guess he will be transitioning out of these initial Zerglings into more Roaches and Hydras. Now, we do have a Stargate on the way for MC, so he's going to try and get some damage done by the air forces. By ground, it's going to be difficult. He's conceded ground control to those Zerglings with Zergling speed. And the only way he can get it back is by air, or if he wants to really commit to more and more ground units. But generally, Zerglings are just so fast. Even with ground units, it's still difficult to get map control back. We do have a small pack of Stalkers and a whole bunch of Sentries moving out slightly outside of the natural of MC's base. But he has to be very careful here. A whole bunch of Zerglings could surround. It looks like this Mothership Core is going to get some pot shots. Stephano does lose one Zergling, not a huge loss, but Stephano does know what is going on. Now, he hasn't been able to spot this Stargate, so these hidden ninja Void Rays might be able to do some damage in the near future. Stephano is still patrolling with these Zerglings, trying to spot that third time, and able to take off that probe, so not bad from Stephano. That third is still not up yet. Stephano is still on 3 bases, but MC's on 2. Now, we do have +1 weapons coming for MC, and it looks like the Zerglings are going to get here from Stephano, but they're all going to get cut off by that force field, and cannons are able to finish them off. So Stephano did lose quite a few Zerglings there, and now he's conceded map control. I feel like losing those Zerglings was not a great play. I think Stephano was trying to get in there and see what was going on, maybe do some damage, but there's just too many cannons here for Zerglings, and cannons 2-shot Zerglings, so unfortunately for Stephano, all those Zerglings are eaten up. Now, we do have the Hydralisk Den coming in behind the Roach Warren, so those missile upgrades are going to be very effective for both these units, as +1 attacks is already finished, +2 attacks has been started. Now, MC has been able to put down his Nexus, and Stephano is on his side of the map, so it looks like MC will be able to claim a third base, which is vitally important for him. And now it'll be up to Stephano, because he either needs to crush one of those bases, probably the third, or he needs to expand to his fourth. It looks like he's going to opt for the latter. He's getting his fourth base over on the east side of this map. And then creep spread is not bad either at the 11-minute mark. It's about 40% across the map. He's going to have to do a little bit more with that creep spread. There we go. If he wants to get it closer over to his Protoss opponent's side of the map. Now, that infestation pit is going to finish up here really quickly, so Stephano can upgrade to Hive, so at least he's not going to be delayed for upgrades. And that's one of the problems I do see for a lot of Zerg players. Sometimes they stay on Lair Tech too long, and then they actually get behind on upgrades, even though they were ahead at one point. But with access to the infestation pit, he's going to be able to do a lot more. He is going for Enduring Locust, so it looks like we are going to see some Locusts. I think Locusts are very good. Now, on this map, they're kind of difficult because there's so many ridges on this map that Locusts kind of have to go around, and the routing of the Locusts is one of their deficiencies because they're so slow. But we have a huge pack. We have 5 Void Rays coming in, able to pick off that fourth base, actually forced the cancel with Prismatic Alignment on. So the Ninja Void Rays from that one, well, actually 3 Stargates, was able to do some economic damage to Stephano, but now I think Stephano's going to go into overdrive and make a whole bunch of Hydralisks. We do have 7 more on the way, and Void Rays are not very good against Hydralisks, so it's going to be up to MC to protect these Void Rays. What kind of unit composition will he have on the ground to protect the Void Rays? Because Void Rays are very good, but they're not good against Hydralisks, and they do need protection. +1 air weapons is almost finished as well. There we go. He's also getting +1 shields That's very interesting. We don't see Protoss shield upgrades that often. And even though we do have some Swarm Hosts out, obviously Void Rays can kill Swarm Hosts if they're detected, but Swarm Hosts cannot hit air units. But it does look like Stephano is going to be moving his Spine Crawlers up into a more forward position. I like this play. He's got creep spread about halfway across the map. Why not move the Spine Crawlers ahead to be more aggressive, try and protect this fourth base, and engage the units earlier on? Both player supply is fairly even. Stephano does have a small, about 15 supply advantage, but it looks like MC is ready to move across the map. He's on the west side, moving up north. I think he wants to go for a ninja snipe on this lair, soon to be hive. There we are. We've got 3 Spore Crawlers up. We've got a whole bunch of Hydralisks as well. We've also got this Overlord here. This Overlord is able to spot this incoming army. The Hydralisks are already in position, but are they going to be able to deal with so many Void Rays? Now, the Time Warp does go down. We have more reinforcing Hydralisks. I think these Void Rays are going to take a lot of damage here, and MC is going to have to fall back. We do have another attack at the natural of MC's base. A whole bunch of Roaches are focusing down on these gateways. One gateway does go down. Now all the Roaches are waltzing in here. They're going to focus down on this forge, able to cancel that upgrade. Great move by Stephano, and now MC does have to warp in a whole bunch of Zealots into his main. The Roaches are in the main and the natural, harassing these probes, but there's just too many gateway units here. It's just a matter of time before all these Roaches fall. The Void Rays are trying to reinforce the position near the middle of the map. Hydras are going to meet them head on near the middle. Now the Hydras are going to fall, and so is one of the Swarm Hosts. Swarm Hosts are retreating, but they're kind of slow. They are faster on that creep. Now this attack from Stephano in the main base, there's only 3 Roaches left. The Zealots are focusing down on them. There's only 1 Roach left, and finding that last Roach will explode. A lot of carcass juice. But finally, it looks like MC is able to deal with that Roach attack, but he did lose that Forge and that upgrade. And we do have +3 missile attacks on the way for Stephano. And for the ground units, for the gateway units, excuse me, we only have +1 weapons finished. So Stephano is really ahead in regards to upgrades. And I think that is going to give him a big edge, especially since the armies are fairly similar in size. Now, there are still a lot of Void Rays, and Void Rays are very good against Roaches, but we don't see a lot of Roaches. In fact, I don't see any in this composition. There are actually no Roaches on the field. Stephano does have 92 drones. That's quite a bit. But the drones can be turned into Spine and Spore Crawlers, and it looks like a whole bunch of drones will be morphing into those units that I just mentioned. Now, MC is getting his 4th base as well. So economically, it looks like MC will be able to even it out. But Stephano's creep tumors are getting the short end of the stick. They're getting blown up for free by all these Void Rays. Now we do have a whole bunch of Locusts here, able to focus down on some of these Zealots. Now we do have a small pack of Zealots in here, but the Hydralisks are going to make short work of them. Only 1 Hydra went down, it looks like. But we do have MC moving across the map. He's trying to take on a whole bunch of Locusts. The Locusts are loving this because they don't mind. They're basically free. They don't mind confrontations with Zealots. They eat Zealots very easily. And now there's a huge supply disadvantage for MC. And I think MC was throwing away units there, kind of, because Locusts are free, like I mentioned, especially against 2-2 Zealots, against 0-0-1 Zealots. I don't think that the Zealots will do very well. And with +3 missile weapons almost finished, as well as the Carapace upgrade, Stephano has a huge timing here where he's actually going to have 3-3 against 1-0 units. I think he can really win the game in the next few minutes here. Now, the Swarm Hosts are deep in the base, so Locusts won't be able to go very far. I don't think Stephano's picked up on the fact that he might be able to do a lot of damage here yet. Now, he is going to be moving the Swarm Hosts forward. I think that's the right choice to make, as Stephano really has the upgrade advantage here. Now, the Zealots are moving in here again. The Locusts love that fact. The Swarm Hosts need to get into better position. They don't want to be in the front. They want to be somewhere where they're behind a lot of defenses. There we go. Now, are the Locusts going to be able to actually get into MC's base from here? It's a little bit far. I don't think that they'll be able to do it. Now, MC does have his 4th base up. Now, Stephano's had his 4th base up for quite a while, but generally as a Zerg player, you want to be up 1 base against your non-Zerg opponents. But now we've got Vipers in this composition as well. Now, we don't have any Colossi, but Vipers can pull in the Void Rays. We do have an attack of Zealots at this 4th base. So we've got so many Spine Crawlers going crazy here. This hatchery will not go down. It is in the red. So the Zealots were able to do some damage here, but I feel like a lot of the Zealots were just thrown away, and now Stephano is reinforcing with even more Spine Crawlers. I don't think this 4th base is going to go down in the near future, especially if Transfuses do go down. We do have Locusts from Stephano focusing down on these cannons. Unfortunately, they are going to melt away. Now, remember here, I talked about the Vipers. Now they have the choice between Void Rays and Colossi are much more tasty to pull in to these swarms of Locusts. These Locusts are not going to be able to do that much damage. And like I mentioned before, you got to remember, Locusts, because they have to deal with these ridges, they're much easier to destroy on this map. So I don't really like Locusts on Shir Vestige. But hey, it's working out for Stephano, so why not? Able to pick off 3 units there. 4 now. This Stalker's going to go down as well. The Locusts are really paying for themselves, because basically whenever they do damage or kill any units, that's free damage, because they constantly pump out more and more free units. We have another wave of Locusts coming in. Once again, able to pick away at a Zealot. I think MC is losing a lot of units. You take a look at the resources. Stephano has 5,000 more minerals than his Protoss opponent. Now, we do have Tempest in here as well. Now, Tempests are very, very slow at firing. But what you want to use them for is you want to use them to kind of force opponent into bad confrontations and encounters. You can kind of shoot at opponents and kite away, and then you infuriate the units to kind of engage you when they shouldn't. And so this is what MC is trying to do here. They don't do that much damage, and they're not good against Locusts, but we'll have to see if this plan does work out. Now, the Locusts have been moved forward just a little bit, and that's going to give them a little bit more time to deal with these cannons. I think that's a wise move by Stephano. It looks like he's moving towards that Xel'Naga tower. That sentry is going to be under attack here, it looks like. But the Locusts do burn up before they're able to do any real damage. Now, Stephano has been able to get his 5th base up. He hasn't mined from it just yet. He does have 1 drone there, but it looks like both players are playing a very, very you-come-to-me first sort of game. Neither player really wants to engage. Until now, Stephano is going to be attacking that 4th base with the Hydralisk, but he thinks better of it. He's going to be waiting for the Locust reinforcements before he sends the Hydralisk in. I think this is very intelligent. You want to lose free units instead of units that cost larvae and that cost minerals. And it looks like the Locusts were able to scare away this pack of units from MC, but MC is going to be attacking the right side of the map. All these Spine Crawlers are under attack. The Locusts are trying to reinforce. The Void Rays do get pulled in here, but there's not that much anti-air. At the same time, the 4th base of MC is under attack from all these Hydralisks. These cannons are not going to be able to do too much. Storms do go down. A lot of damage. The Hydralisks do not have that much life. They're getting eaten up by those storms, but there's still quite a few Hydralisks here. The Zealots are trying to reinforce this position, but the Hydralisks just do so much DPS. I'm not sure if the Zealots are going to be able to hold, but with these Archons, the Hydralisks are going to have to retreat. So good hold by MC, but he did lose a lot of cannons in that battle, as well as those Templars being forced to turn into Archons. The Locusts are reinforcing this position now, and that's going to force MC to retreat to his 4th base once again. All the Void Rays are coming back as well. So actually, we have Stephano moving in here with the Swarmos. I think it's a huge mistake. He's losing a whole bunch of Swarmos for the low cost of nothing. And now the Swarmos are going to have to retreat behind the safety of these Spore and Spine Crawlers. I think that is the right play. Now the Locusts are going to be coming out here, but we have so many Colossi as well as Tempest and Void Rays. Void Rays are getting pulled in here one by one. 2 Void Rays do go down immediately. And number 3, 4, and 5 are going to go down as well, it looks like. Or at least 4. There we go. The Mothership Core does get destroyed as well. But the Swarm Hosts, I think they might need to fall back here. The Colossi were firing on them just premature, just for a little bit there. Now the 5th base of Stephano was taken out in that battle. The Swarm Hosts are coming in here, focusing down on those High Templar. I think that's a wise decision. The Archons are taking a lot of damage as well. But both players are on 4 bases, and the resources are evening out just a little bit. MC is still hurting for a lot of gas, but these Locusts, I think, are going to turn the tide. Now, they're just hanging out behind this bush. They're not actually moving in, so the rally point for these Swarmos has to change, and now Stephano has moved them into a more forward position into the heart of the fourth base of MC. He's getting more and more cannons down, but these Locusts are going to arrive before the cannons finish, and now MC has to think, is he going to attack one of the bases of Stephano, or is he going to rush back? Looks like he's committed to an attack. A whole bunch of cannons do go down. Swarm hosts do finally end up dying as their time duration does finish. Now, Fungal Growths do go down, trapping a lot of those units, but nothing to really focus down on them. We do have a lot of the High Templars trapped. The Locusts are firing down on them. MC's losing a lot of units here. He's down by 30 supply. The Vipers are doing significant damage by pulling in those Colossi and Void Rays. But the Tempests do have a lot of range. But it looks like we've only got a few Colossi and a few Tempests here to deal with a whole bunch of Locusts. That's not a very good composition to deal with a whole bunch of slow-moving free units. So it looks like MC is going to have to retreat here. And MC, even though the supplies are very similar, he's lost a lot of units rebuilding this army up. And we do have more Vipers on the way. Resources lost is fairly even, but remember, Stephano has had those bases up for longer, so it doesn't hurt him as much. And now this fourth base from MC is under attack. That one pylon was taken out, and now these 4 cannons are totally inactive. So MC's going to have to repower them back up, but is he going to be able to in time? This lone Archon can't deal with 30 or so Locusts, and these Locusts are just going down, picking away at these cannons. And now the next wave of Locusts look like they're going to have pretty much free reign with only 2 cannons protecting it. MC's going to have to figure out what he wants to do here. He is behind in minerals, and he is behind in... Actually, the resources loss is fairly even. I'm a little bit surprised. Now, another swarm of Locusts are going to come in here. The Stalkers are tanking the damage, but that's not very good for the Stalkers. It's great for the Locusts, able to destroy a couple Stalkers for free. Now, the Spore Crawlers are getting taken out by the long range of the Tempest. That's another great advantage of these Tempests. They can take down these stacked defense structures very easily. But unfortunately, with so many Locusts coming in and no force fields to kind of force them to walk around, the Colossi are forced to continuously kite them. And remember, once they're destroyed, another wave of Locusts come out to replenish their lost brothers. And so MC is kind of killing units, but he has to constantly micro and move around, and Belshir Vestige has so many of these obstructions, it's difficult to micro sometimes. Now, MC does have the range advantage, but he's really down in resources compared to his Zerg opponent. It looks like the Swarm Hosts are going to reposition themselves, and this 5th base of MC is going to be under attack from these new Swarm Hosts. Excuse me, from these new Locusts. The probes are getting taken out. And it looks like MC is committed to take down this 4th base of Stephano. He needs to cut down these minerals, but it looks like all these Tempests are pulled in by Vipers, and they're just going to get eaten up. He lost 5 Tempests in a span of a few moments, so MC is really hurting here. He's down by about 25 supply, and now the Stalkers are committed. They're going to move in here. Actually, an aggressive blink forward. Going to focus down on these drones. But now these Locusts can go to town. Lost Storms do go down, doing significant damage to the Locusts. The Locusts will get burned up finally, and this hatchery is going to go down. This 5th base of MC was also taken out. It wasn't finished yet. But now it looks like both players are on 4 bases, but Stephano has just so many more resources. The Vipers are going to pull in a whole bunch of Colossi. 2 of them do go down very quickly here. We only have 1 Colossi left for MC, and Colossi are very good against Locusts, but with only 2 Colossi here, I think Stephano has a huge advantage. The Locusts are just moving in here, rampaging, eating up all these Zealots and High Templars. And it looks like with the Fungal Growth going down, another Tempest is destroyed. Tempests are very expensive. MC is down by 20 supply. The Stalkers are blinking forward, able to pick off an Infestor. But the Locusts are reinforcing this position once again. So MC is really not doing that well. The resources loss is slightly in favor of Stephano, but he's getting actually +3 air attack upgrades and +3 air carapace. I haven't seen that in a while from a Zerg player. And MC really needs his 5th base up, but is he going to be able to protect it from so many Locusts? It doesn't look like it. The Locusts are already firing on it. It forces the cancel on the Nexus and the Pylon. And he's also going to lose a whole bunch of these probes as well. So that is very unfortunate for MC. So MC looks like he's going to be attacking that 5th base once again. But we've got so many Locusts and not enough Colossi. And these Vipers are pulling in all these Tempests. These Corruptors are just going to town. And unfortunately for MC, he's down by 50 supply. His Stalkers are really weak. He's lost so many units. I don't think he can come back. He's just too far behind. And now, with Stephano able to reestablish this 5th base, I think he has a stranglehold on this game. I think MC is going to have a real big difficulty trying to come back in this game. These Locusts, I think, really turn the game. They're just so prevalent and everywhere that these Zealots are not able to do too much. The fungal growth does go down as well, trapping all the Zealots, so not actually able to do any damage to this hatchery. Now, they are going to come in here and try to do some damage to these drones, but with so many Hydras reinforcing this position, I don't think they're going to do too much. Now, this base from Stephano, I'm not sure why MC is attacking it. There's not that many minerals left, and there's lots of static defenses as well. Colossi does go down, as well as many Stalkers. It doesn't look like MC is really microing them, as he just walked into a whole bunch of Spine Crawlers, but Stephano has been able to reposition his Swarm Host, and now the Locusts are going to reinforce this position. He'll pick off another Stalker, and MC is going to have to tap out, so great game by Stephano. MC just wasn't able to deal with so many Swarm Hosts, and unfortunately for him, these guys are free. So Stephano takes this very long 35-minute game. We'll have to head over to game 2 and see if MC can bounce back.